Well, things have escalated.
Caution, I'm a hack. I learned everything I know from a guy leaned against a shade tree, having a drink and smoking a cigarette.
Hey, welcome back. I'm David, and this week we'll be back on this Pontiac G6. It needs a really good cleaning. Last week we got the power steering rack in and got the suspension hopefully all fixed up. I've got an appointment Friday to have the tires put back on this car. My brother's going to do that and do the alignment for us, and we'll see how she drives after that. It's already better, but you know, we won't know for sure, but I think it's going to be fine. This car is nasty. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so we're going to go ahead and pressure wash it today, get it inside, let it dry tomorrow. We'll hit it with a buffer and address some of the paint coming off. That ain't good, but we're on a strict budget, so we'll see how it turns out. Yeah, let's get to work.
This thing is nasty. You will not be able to tell. I sprayed down the hood some a minute ago, and the dirt's just rolling off of it. So I'm gonna spray the whole thing down. We're gonna let her marinate a minute, and we'll spray her down. Well, I was going to wash the car with soap and water, but I'm telling you right now, that ain't no point. You can see how nice that looks when it's wet. See how dull that is? It's so faded. I don't know if we can make this thing look any better or not. And we definitely have paint peeling. So I'm actually just going to let it dry for a little bit, drive it inside. And I don't know, well, maybe we'll go ahead and hit it with a buffer on the hood, just see what it does, because it is rough. I don't even know how much paint or clear's left on that. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but there's just scratches all over it, and that's just where the clear coat's in such poor condition. So yeah, we'll clean her up. We'll make her better. That's flipping around on its own now. I need to see what's. I don't think it's supposed to do that. What to look into that. Anyways, let's get it inside and we'll hit it tomorrow with a buffer. Well, it's the next day. Dried off last night just fine. This hood is terrible. It's losing paint. We already knew that. And yeah, the oxidation is terrible. Very little paint left on this hood. So we're going to do the right thing and buff it. I'm sure that's the correct way to go, right? I have a plan. It's not a good plan, but I have a plan. Let's see how it goes. This thing probably really needed to be wet sanded, but there's no way I was going to wet sand this. I was afraid it wouldn't have any paint left at all. So, what do you think? Worth 15 minutes of work? It's definitely better. It ain't perfect. It never will be without paint, but yeah, much, much, much better. There's still plenty of hazing in there, and you can probably work on it for an hour and get it a little better, but you have to know when to stop working on your $3,500 car. So let's polish the other side of the hood, and we'll call this the hood part done. It is much better, that's for sure. I'm going to go ahead. I think I'm going to go ahead and buff that headlight. Change that headlight. And just go ahead and buff the whole front end. That way the front of the car is done, and we'll just work our way back as we go. Yeah. I believe it's going to be all right. It'll be fine for what it is. Look at that. It's definitely better. I mean, we did look like that, so yeah. I've showed this several times. You can make an old car, you know, from the 2000s or whatever with plastic headlights look so much better with a couple pieces of sandpaper and some polish. This headlight over here is broken. We're going to pull it out and put the new headlight in. Then we'll buff it. Then I want to run a buffer over this front bumper and just to clean it up a little bit, nothing crazy. Can you all tell that that's a different color? That front bumper is not from this car. It's been repainted or whatever. But it's very close, but it is a different color. Couldn't tell it so much before I buffed that hood, but now that I'm looking at it really good, yeah, you can definitely tell. So let's change this headlight out. I don't remember how to do it, but I don't think it was that hard. I can't remember. That's the next thing. I'm sure you saw me messing with this. Somebody's rewired this one that's on the car. They took the actual plug out of it. It's supposed to have a plug like that. Best thing for us to do would actually be to go cut a plug off one at the junkyard. Yeah, I want to be able to just put this thing in and not have to worry about it. So, yeah, we don't know if it works or not. Hopefully all the bulbs work. One of the bulbs that was in this was definitely blown. The other one might be okay. So, I think I'm going to... yeah, we're just going to cut those wires for now, tape them off, put this headlight in, buff it. That way when we get the new socket, we can just put the socket, pull the headlight back out, put the socket in, it should be good to go. So that's what we're going to do. Looks so much better. So yesterday
I didn't have time to finish that headlight, but I got called away to do something else. But anyways, this morning I hit it. This thing looks so much better. I'm not going to hit this bumper. We got to go. My brother's going to put tires on this thing and give it an alignment, and hopefully it'll drive a lot better after that. Got to clean that windshield. I won't be able to see out of that, but yeah, a few hours worth of work, some compound, and a buffer. Looks like a much different car. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and load it up and take it and get this stuff done, and maybe we'll come back and finish buffing it, and then we'll start maybe the interior. I don't know. We'll see where we go.
So I got her back. She ran pretty good. I'm not terribly upset about it. The brakes are a little weird, but I think it's just where it's been sitting, and they kept getting better as I drove, but they weren't terrible to begin with. So nonetheless, it's really beautiful today. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. We can buff inside tomorrow, but I want to be able to clean this trunk out and pressure wash this carpet and stuff, and it is nasty, and I want to do that outside. So this car is so nasty. It's just got dirt all over everything. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull all the carpet out of the back of this. I'm going to throw all this trash away, and I'm going to pressure wash the carpet pieces, and we're going to scrub these plastics down with just some Dawn dishwashing liquid, and I'm going to fix this wiring that needs to be soldered back together, and we'll tape it all up and get all this stuff wrapped up so the trunk part's finished. Then we might move to the interior if I have time today. If not, it'll just have to be another day. But this old car's coming along. This was a rough car. This is the roughest G6 convertible I've ever bought, but the price was right. I thought it was right, so I bought it. So anyways, here we are. So we got to fix it. So I'm gonna get a trash bag and a vacuum this out, drag these out, and hit them with a pressure washer. Hopefully they'll come at least semi-clean. So I got everything out, even the panels that I'd taken out before when I was trying to fix the top. See all that rust at the bottom? This thing had collected some water because they couldn't get the top to shut. There's a funneling water inside. There's no real rust or anything in there. The trunk's shut. I'll show you that in a minute, but I think we can get that out with just a pressure washing. And I'm gonna scrub these parts down right quick with just some Dawn dishwashing liquid and a Scotch Brite type sponge thing, whatever it's called. So I'm gonna get to doing that right quick, and we'll see how these clean up. I believe it'll be good. Yeah, that's much better already. We're gonna let it dry. This thing was full of mud. I had to turn it around just so the mud would flow out of it. It's better. It'll do. It's so much better. And the bottom of that thing is not covered in mud and rust anymore. So I'm happy with it. We'll let this dry and we'll toss it back in. It's like 82 degrees out, so it shouldn't take long. So I've got the door panel off this door. I had it off so the wires were cut to the trunk release and stuff is all messed up. So I fixed that a long time ago, but this door panel is nasty. So I'm gonna hit it with that Dawn dishwashing liquid and spray it down and see if we can't get the door panel back on this car. Gotta be better than what it is now. I got it scrubbed down. I'm gonna hit it with a pressure washer. It won't hurt it. And if it does, whatever. But we're gonna do it. So I told y'all I'd show you the trunk. See, it's got a little bit of surface rust in there, but it was just where this trunk wasn't shut all the way when they had it all messed up. And there's really not a whole lot to fixing what I fixed on this. It just had a couple of broke wires. That's why all that's out. I'm not going to fix that right now, but I am going to go ahead and throw all the trunk interior liner stuff back in it so I can get this car put up for the night. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and throw that in there and we'll move right along. Well, it's the next day. The rain stopped, so I decided to bring this thing outside, drop the top on it, make some stuff easier for me so I can reach the inside better and try to get this nasty thing cleaned out. So I scanned the codes for the car. The airbag light comes up for a code for basically no communication on one of these front seats. I don't know which one. I bet you it's a wiring issue. But this seat has issues, so we're gonna pull it first, and maybe the wiring issues in it, maybe it's not, we'll see. But definitely this seat here, the lever down here where you pull it doesn't do anything, and it's leaned way back. I guess if you're a gangster it's fine, but for an old man like me, it hurts my back. So I'm gonna pull this seat out, and we'll give it all a look. And we'll probably clean that carpet before we put this seat back. So let me get after it. Took the rear two bolts out. Yeah, look at all that trash. Oh, I don't understand how you could be this nasty, but whatever. I may go ahead and just pull this carpet out and pressure wash it. It's so bad. I'm probably gonna pressure wash the bottom part of the seat. Maybe the whole seat while it's out. Golly, it's so nasty. Y'all just cannot. I promise you, what you see isn't as bad as it actually is. So it is bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this seat out and pick it up and put it on the ground. But those wires being loose down there, just almost a dead giveaway that I bet it's got a break in one of them, or it's not plugged in good or something. So we'll look at it. Pulled the back seat out. No surprise, it's disgusting back there too. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get the stuff up here and get this seat out, and I'm pretty sure the console has to come out too. So I can get all that done. I'm just gonna pressure wash most of the interior, and we'll go from there. Gosh dang. Ugh. Well, as you can see, I've yard sailed this thing in the driveway. Got everything out of the inside that needs to come out, and I vacuumed it out. So I got a lighter and a pair of scissors. Pretty sure I know what they were doing back there. But anyways, yeah, it's much, much, much better. I believe we can get it somewhat clean now. So yeah, I'm gonna fire up a pressure washer and pressure wash all this, and then I'm gonna pull the car inside and put all the stuff inside and just let it dry, because the day is almost done. Camera died while I was filming all that. I'm not really sure at this point how much was on there, but here's what we got. A pressure washed interior. I also pressure washed that door panel, but I'm gonna let this stuff sit out here and dry for a while, and I'm gonna get the car inside, then I'll drag all this stuff inside, and we'll call it a day. Tomorrow's Easter. I'm gonna take the day off. Hey, welcome back. It's early morning. The seats dried out. I've got them sitting outside though. Just why not? They are dry though. This morning we're going to go to the junkyard. We need a few things. We're just going to go pull those few things and come back and get back to work. We need to finish this thing up today, maybe tomorrow, and get it ready for sale. It's supposed to be sunny for the next like 9 days here, I think. So be a great time to sell a convertible. So yeah, let's go to the junkyard, see what we can find. Found a new arrival. I'm going to pull the headlight harness and maybe a few other things off this, and we'll see what else we can find. Found another cool Pontiac 2008 Gxp Grand Prix. Got the cool vents in the fenders. They're all loaded up. Look at the gauge cluster. But the coolest part is it's a V8, and it is a 5.3 liter. I do not know if I could use this for a swap or not, though. Anybody got a clue? Let me know in the comments if you think I can use this in a swap. I don't know. Might not even be worth pulling, but because it is front wheel drive. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of a cool find though at the junkyard. Well, we got a few things. Most of these cars are getting really picked over out here. It's just what it is. Really needed a window regulator for that rear window. I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and just buy one. They're 45 bucks on eBay. I tried to get one out because I tried to get two out, and I broke both of them trying to do it. Yeah, I mean, that old plastic is just so brittle. So anyways, I think I'm gonna order that. It'll be in a few days. That'll probably end up being the very last thing we do, so whatever. This car's about done, and I can even start the next project while we're waiting on parts if we have to. So anyways, I'm gonna head back to the house and we'll see how much of this stuff we can get put together. We're about ready to kick this thing to the curb. Also, I'm pretty sure we're just gonna have to live with that airbag light being on. I searched over those wires the other day. I can't find a bad connection or anything. I couldn't find anything. The airbag module could be bad, but it's really unusual an airbag module to go through its learning system, because like every time you turn it on, it goes through and checks all the systems. It's odd for one to do that and still be bad, but I mean, it could be. But I was afraid to pull one here because, you know, all these cars have been out with the doors open. They're going to be wet too, so whatever. So it'll just be what it is. And we're gonna just drop the price on this car and just let it ride. I just need this one out of my life. If we can make a little, great. If, you know, we need it going. So anyways, let's go home. Well, I made it back. G6 is behind me. I think I'm just gonna throw the interior back in this thing, and it just is what it is. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. I'm completely over this car. Yeah, I'm ready to move on. One more car left from the car lot days, and then we're on to something new. Or, well, not something new, something exciting. But I'd bring y'all in here and get you caught up. It ain't perfect, and that's fine, but it's a lot better than it was. This was one of the nastiest cars I'd seen in a long time. I'm sure you won't even be able to tell that on film, but she's a lot better than she was. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this seat in it. Some idiot left the ignition switch on. That idiot was me. So I'll have to put the battery on charge before we move it. But yeah, I believe we're just about to wrap this thing up, and I'm ready to be done. I mentioned either in this video or the other one, I can't even remember now, that the driver's side seat didn't move and it's leaned way back. So I just took it apart, hit it with some WD-40, that and a little force. You can see where I put my foot on the seat. I'll have to clean that back off. I got that to free up, and now it works. Well, I can't do it with one hand, but just trust me, it works. I'm going to throw this thing back together, get the driver's seat back in, maybe pull it outside, and then I can do the passenger seat, put the top back up. I got to buff this trunk lid, and I'm going to buff the roof. And then I think we're just about to the point of dressing the peeling paint and seeing what we're going to do with it. We're going to try a spot or two and see how it goes, and I don't know. I don't know how it'll turn out, but I just want to make it better. It ain't going to be fixed. It's just going to be better. So I'm going to go back to it. So this paint's terrible. We ain't painting this whole car. We ain't even doing the right kind of touch-up, but I want it to look better than it does. So I'm sure you can see that color is similar. This is something I just happen to have a partial can of. So it'll do for what we're doing. And I do not have the right grits of sandpaper or what I really prefer. So we're going to start a little aggressive and come in and just hit this edge, so knock it back. So and then I'll come in with some, I think it's some 400, scuff the whole thing, and we're going to move on. And it is what it is. Not much I can do about it. I mean, other than spend way too much money on this car. The more I own this car, the less I want to fix anything on it. So we need to get it gone before I sell it for next to nothing. So what I did was feathered the edge back with 120, which is way too aggressive. I didn't even get it all, but guess what? We're gonna roll with it. Then I hit it all with 400. Also, probably not what I should have done. That's what I got. This should really be etch primed, sanded down, blended out, shot in color, shot in clear, then buffed. We ain't doing all that. So I have this can of Perfect Match, Duplicolor Perfect Match. It's universal black metallic. I bought it for a different car, not this one. I used it on that car, as you can see. And here we are. Over a year later. Let's see how this works out. We'll feather it in. We'll let that dry and we'll keep going, and it'll be better than it was, maybe. Well, what do you think? Perfect? No. On camera it may not even show this, but it's definitely a different color. I should have sanded that ridge more. I'm not going back and fixing it. Is it much better than it was? Absolutely. Good enough to sell? For sure. Are we polishing a turd? Yes, we are. So while that was drying, I went ahead and scuffed up these worst of the spots on the hood. Also the place up there on the roof that is also a dent. We're not fixing it. And then there's a little place here around the edge of that door and that trim, and that's all the paint we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll shoot this hood, then we'll move this paper around. We'll keep moving until we're done. We are almost out of paint, so we're going to hit that first. Maybe miss some down here. Let's see how it goes. I really don't want to buy another can of like $15 or $18 paint. After I got done with the paint, I decided I'd put the headliner in. I had it laying on top of the car. I'm sure y'all saw it, but it went in, no problems. There we go. That's a pretty good shot of it. So that helps the interior look a lot better. Still got a couple of clips to put in it, nothing crazy. Well, I decided to take this headlight back out. I've already unbolted it so we can fix the wiring that's in there and get it hooked up and see if we can get it to work. I'm going to do this and back this thing outside and buff it. And that's going to be this video. We're done. So lots of new things coming to the channel. If you haven't already seen that, you should go and check out the latest Camaro video. Well, things have escalated. Not in a good way. Let me show you what's up. Yeah, I've got the back seat apart because the convertible top will not go up. Don't know why. I've been all over the internet. I don't know why. The pump runs, I can hear it run. So it must be low on fluid. But you can't pop the trunk to get to it. And there's like no safety mechanism, like no physical latch you can pull. It's only electric. Some people said that you could unhook the battery and hook it back up and it would override the trunk release. That doesn't work. It says top move is complete. Somebody else said, oh, you can get to the part where you manually lift this from here. So I tore all this apart, just looking to how to manually lift the top up. Because this thing has got to go away. So I just don't know what to do. I don't care about polishing it if I can't get the top up. And I can't I guess I could sell it just like it is, but I'm gonna have to take a big hit on it for something that's probably simple to fix if you just know how. Man, what a killer. Well, I stepped away from this thing for a couple of days. I was fed up with it. If y'all have seen my other videos, you know I went out and bought an engine, so that took up a day, and then I took a day off. So nonetheless, I'm back on this thing. So this morning I was able to get the trunk open.
before it wouldn't open. I don't know what's wrong, but we got it open. It seems like the reservoir for the hydraulic fluid for the top is empty, or very, very close to empty. We're gonna fill it up, but it is terribly hard to get to. But we'll fill it up, see if the top will go up. If the top goes up, we're just gonna call it good, and we're gonna polish this thing. We're gonna deliver it to the guy that's gonna sell it for me on his lot, and that's it. It'll be gone. And I'll just tell him, look, if you put the top down, it's at your own risk, but it does work. So, yeah, we're gonna move along. I wanted to show you here where the fluid is, or where the reservoir is. You have to pull this weather stripping back, and you can pop this loose. It's way down in there. There's the pump, but there's the reservoir, and there's a little bolt in it. I'm not really sure how well I can get this done. Definitely can't film it. I'll show you how it works if it works. So we'll go from there. I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell, but there is fluid in it now. I used a syringe that I had and some PTFE that I have laying out here because it's still got fluid in it. I used this to pry that over. I think I'm going to shut the trunk and then back this thing outside. If it starts lifting at all, I'm going to stop, put the back seat together while I can still get to it, and I still have the window regulator to put in over here, which came in over the weekend. And then if all that goes well, we'll try to put the top all the way up, buff the trunk lid and the roof, and that's probably it. This car's, I'm going to call it done, and hopefully we can get it sold this week. I'd like to see the cash out of it and see this thing out of my life. I've got this thing sitting outside. That trunk lid kind of opens backwards, so we're going to see if it'll move. If it moves, we're going to stop and concern ourselves with a few other things, and then we'll get back right to that, and so we can get it shut. Oh, it sounds like it might be trying. It's probably bleeding the air through the lines. Oh, it's trying so hard. Oh, if you can, y'all may not be able to tell. It's unlocked. I'm gonna see if I can just pull it up by hand. I don't want to get this thing to the point that it's out of fluid again and the top's locked, because when it locks, I can't unlock it. But if it's unlocked, you can actually move this thing by hand. See, it's unlocked. Oh, it's kind of tough to do, but it is doable. So I'm gonna prop this up here, and as long as this is up, we can actually get to that over there and make sure we have enough fluid in it. I can actually check it much better now, so that's what I'm gonna do. Well, this is the regulator they sent me. I'll take you around here and show you. That's the regulator we need, and they're nothing alike. Therefore, we are going to call it fixed. Actually, I'm gonna get this window up to where I can do something with it, and I'm gonna clean out behind the seat back here and put the seat back in, get this top up, buff the roof and the trunk, and I'm calling this car done. It's a good running driving car. It still needs some love, and I don't have time or money to put into it anymore. And so we'll just discount it and let it ride. Somebody will get a really great deal on this car, and then they can put a little cash into it and make it even better if they want, or drive it as it is. So yeah, I'm gonna clean this up and get it back together right quick. Well, here we are. Got it all back together. Got the back seat in. Got that window kind of half pulled up. It'll pull up easily. I'm gonna see if I can shut this the rest of the way, get the top up and locked. Then I'll just pull that up by hand, no big deal. We'll keep moving along.
I checked it and the reservoir was empty. So I put some more fluid in it. Let's see if we can get some motion out of this thing, hopefully. Nope. Nope. It's the wrong direction. We need to go the other way. I'm gonna stop before I go any further. Coming up, it's shutting. Yes. Is the trunk gonna shut? Think so. That's it. It's shut. Good enough. Good enough. Let's polish this thing and get it out of our lives. Woo! I've been sweating this one. If you're curious what I did, I filled up the reservoir and ran it. Filled up the reservoir and ran it, and then it wouldn't run anymore. So I took the actual battery cable loose so it would reset the memory. Whew, I am over it. So yeah, I'm gonna roll the windows up, pull that one up, and we're gonna hit this thing with a buffer, wash it off real good because you gotta wash the compound after that, and that's it. I think she's ready to go to the car lot and be sold. But I give y'all an update. Man, that buffer just brings the paint back here so much better. I've done half the roof too, or a little more than. Yeah, this is a rough old car before I started on it. Hopefully I gave it a few more years of life. Well, it definitely looks better, but guess what? This window won't roll up now. Not a clue why. It acts like it wants to. You can hear it move, but just won't go up. So yeah, hopefully I can break even on this one. I went from, hey, let's make a little, probably gonna make some money, to it'll probably break even. Anybody that ever buys and sells cars and tells you they've never lost on a car, they're either lying to you or they've not done enough cars. So it is what it is. We'll take this one out, and my buddy said he'd keep it in the garage when it rained. We're gonna price it cheap and hopefully somebody will come buy it. It just needs more money than I'm willing to put in it. So anyways, we'll see you next time, and yeah, thanks for watching. Would you believe this? I shut the door, got in the car, now the window works. Who knows? I'm over this ride.